Hello everyone, it's Kit Carson here in front of Angelina's Pizza. And as you all know by now, I sit here all night and all day and I talk to the rock stars, the heroes, and the gods of Key West. And today is no different. In fact, today is a very special day. I got a special guest here with me. Introduce yourself to the world, sir.
Hello. Everybody wants to sit with Kit. Yeah.
Hello world.
Hey, world.
I'm Mike from Mr. Z's, cheesesteak shop right down the street from here.
Yeah, you're on Southern.
Southern and Duval, yep.
And that is what block is that?
501 Southern Street.
501 Southern?
Yep, right at Duval.
You're literally 3 blocks away.
Right, right.
I've known you, I think, almost since day one.
Pretty much, yeah.
And where are you from, Mike?
I grew up in Philadelphia and got to Key West via the U.S. Navy.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, one of those.
Came via the Navy and you never left.
That's
huh?
right. That's right. I came here for 6 months and never left.
So did you get out here, or did you go somewhere else and didn't say, I'm coming back there?
It's interesting. I got out, actually, my last day of service in the Navy was actually on 9/11.
Oh, wow.
And
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
and I had some friends down here. I didn't know what, like a lot of people didn't know what to do next. And I was going to go out to California and take some classes with my GI Bill. It didn't happen. And everybody, just the whole world was on pause. So I had some friends down in Key West. I said, I'm going to go down and just have fun for a few months.
Why not?
Yeah, and here I am.
And then it's history.
History, yep.
History.
25 years later.
25 years?
20.
How long has Mr. Z's been there?
We've been here 22 years at Mr. Z's. 22.
22? Mm-hmm. That's a good run, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it. Exactly what that's like.
Yeah, yes, you do.
Oh man, it's a love and a sometimes not so lovely.
Yes, we have a lot in common. We do.
We do. We have a lot in that respect. Now, there's a lot that no one knows about you, and we're going to try to find out a little bit today.
Sounds good.
So you grew up in Philly.
Yes.
And you were in the Navy.
Yes.
What else do we need to know about you that people have no clue? Because I know there's some things going on with you.
Well, I mean, you know, you put it like that.
I know that you do. I know that you have other passions.
I have a lot. Yes, I do.
I know you've got a little real estate.
I do.
Dabble in real estate.
I do.
Yeah.
Mostly my wife, but yes, we do.
She loves it.
Yes, that's her love.
Yep. I know you.
You know, it's. I'm one of those kind of guys that kind of appreciates life. Not to sound like corny or whatever, but you know, that's what got me out of Philadelphia. I was 17, 18 years old. I joined the Navy just because I wanted to travel and didn't see any, you know, sort of future for me there. Kind of grew up in Northeast Philly. It's kind of like where Rocky was and that whole neighborhood, and it's you know, it's rough. Extremely proud of where I'm from. If you've been to Mr. Z's, you'll see all the history on the wall kind of thing. But when I was in the Navy for 8 years, from when I was 17, almost 18, until I was about 25, I served all over the world. And I loved cooking. I've been cooking since I was knee high. And so I just was one of those guys. I was always having people over on the weekends, cooking for, you know, 20, 30, 40 people. And then, you know, you start putting together a menu in your head. And I don't know how it worked for you, but I had this idea. Mr. Z was my dad. I thought it was a great name. And just paying tribute to my dad, who had passed away, or well, has passed away. And I just, you know, did what I loved. Things I grew up on that, you know, you can't really get anywhere, that usually aren't done right in other places. So I just did my Mr. Z's cheesesteaks and cheese fries and, you know, roast pork Italiano and hot roast beef, those kind of things. And, you know, I got very, very lucky. This community here embraced me. I had a huge support from my military. I knew a lot of military guys down here at Jayadif, because that was the same job I did in other places. And that Intel world's kind of a small world. Everybody kind of talks to each other. So I had a great following from that. And I'd worked part-time. I don't know if you remember Rum Runners, right? It was kids competition. It was awful though. It was awful, and I can honestly say it was awful how it was running. But they gave me an opportunity though, because they had the whole kind of like here. They had Rum Runners had a whole multiplex of bars and strip clubs, And the day I started, they were like, more or less, they were like, well, you can do what you want. So I started cooking my own things. I started making the pizza dough, and I started doing my own things. And I had a little following there, and that's kind of got me, the inside track to get started here. Again, it wasn't, things didn't line up perfectly. An outsider like me didn't stand a chance here. So I got very lucky. I'm very fortunate for that. But
that was kind of a perfect time.
Yeah.
Right after Wilma and that time frame, everybody was pulling together a lot more.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
Backing up one step, of all the places you went around the world, where was your favorite?
Oh man, I 18 years old. I lived in Rota, Spain.
Oh, Rota, Spain.
Beach town.
Yeah, I know that city.
Man, I was part of an air crew, so I was actually had my feet on the ground every night. And sometimes we flew, sometimes we went other places. I mean, I was mostly ground support, so I worked. It was a party town, and I worked 9 to 5. I was 18, 19 years old, and you could drink at whatever age, and it was as long as you see over the bar, it was just a lot of fun. And in a lot of ways, when I got to Key West, it reminded me of that sort of laid-back beach town, drinking and fun, and it was definitely kind of. I knew I was home when I got here, so
That's a cool spot in the world.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Definitely, yeah.
So let's pivot around. So now you've been here 20 plus years. You're pretty entrenched. What's your next chapter? What's the next thing you're gonna?
That's interesting. That's a very good question.
I know you were up to something.
Well, I am married. We have.
You can't make pizza forever. I mean, we will.
We will. I don't know what choice I have, but I will. And on that note, honest to God, I bitch about it, but I love what I do. I love the people, really, mostly. My employees are family to me. I love all of that, and I really love the Philly connection too. When people come down here from Philadelphia, or whatever, they come in my shop, and there's that. I didn't count on. It sounds stupid, maybe. I didn't count on that. I mean, all the Philly, Jersey people in Key West, I knew they would come in.
Right.
But when people come down here visiting, I figured they're going to get some pink shrimp, go get some conch fritters and a fish sandwich. But they come in like they haven't had a cheese. Yeah, they want a cheesesteak. They want, and I'm kind of like, go get a fish sandwich and come back. But it's great talking to these people, and I've always loved that. But as far as the present and the future, I do have 3 kids. Here in Key West, it's an amazing town. Anybody who thinks Key West isn't a safe place it's very safe. There's no crime down here, man. I mean,
hey, listen,
it's
my kid borrowed my truck, and about an hour after he had it, I get a phone call. Hey, your son did a burnout down on the 600 block of Duval. I'm like, okay, thank you. About a week later, he and his little buddies want to borrow my truck again. And I didn't say anything to him for a week. He goes to get my truck. I said, oh, hey, by the way, if I hear you doing burnouts on Duval Street, you're never driving the... I said, don't even start. He goes, it sucks growing up in this town. You can't get away with anything.
And it's a far cry from where I grew up, too.
And everything he did, everybody would tell me. Just some of it I wouldn't even bring up, and some things I would. But,
that's what, I mean, it's very safe here, and you do know, you don't maybe, like you said, you can pick and choose your battles, but it's a great place to raise kids. So, I mean, we're like, another word to use, entrenched. We're here. We are renting some properties. We got lucky with that a little bit. And in the future, I definitely see more traveling, spending more time with my family, maybe writing.
Maybe writing, huh?
Maybe writing. I know you want to get into this.
Maybe writing mean?
Well,
when you say maybe writing, what does that mean? Maybe get shot. So you caught my answer. Maybe writing.
It's never paid the bills, but I've always been a sort of a writer at heart. The culinary arts and writing have been the 2 things that mostly have drawn me my whole life. I love shooting film and editing and things like that too. So I've been involved in it around town, just short projects and things like that. I've always wanted to do like a big project in Key West with all with this amazing setting that we have here. And there's so many talented writers and actors that are here now, and we've tried to get some things off the ground. It really hasn't happened, but I've written some screenplays and things like that.
Screenplays?
Yeah.
So
I have a couple that are actually on the internet right now at blacklist.org. If you're not familiar, it's it's actually a professional Hollywood site. I have to pay though to be on there. You can pay to get on there, or you can be famous and be on there. But so I mean, it's just I guess it's a dream, but I really believe that I one day can do that. We'll see.
I think that's a great dream, and you're not the only person that talks about making something happen here in that vein.
Yeah.
So I think we need to get together sometime and try to see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
Why not?
My idea was, and I'll just throw it out there, I had an idea that it was, get people that are willing, you and I are probably lucky that we could do this. Maybe some people can't do this, but I was going to look for people that could give us like 2 weeks of their time. Get a great screenplay, something that, everybody agree, like everybody's equal. We all agree on a great screenplay and the locations, etc. And then pick 2 weeks, like a shooting schedule, and that people can, and maybe not even a full 2 weeks. If you're like a server somewhere or a teacher, you can come out on weekends or maybe weekdays if you're a server or something like that. And everybody just donates their time, and everybody's equal share. If it hits, goes to streaming and you make a couple bucks, great. But it wasn't about the money. It was about getting the Key West artists out there.
I think, my producer TB Tim, I'm gonna rat him out a little bit. He has been on to me for a year about let's putting together a short film, and we've looked at a couple, and we haven't really found the one that we want to do yet.
Okay.
But,
I have some scripts.
And there's a lot of actors in this town.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
That are hiding in places that you don't think of.
Right.
Doing nothing close to that.
Right. They're taking a break from life or whatever. Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
But they would be willing to do it. So
yeah.
I think that 2024 might be the year we put together something.
I'd be very interested, and again.
Totally on the board with this. So that's a fascinating thing about you that I don't know that anybody. Does anybody know that?
I've been over the years. I definitely.
Have you written?
In town, remember those? We had the one night stand in Key West. It was a play that you had to write in one night. And then they had those 72-hour film festivals that were. They did the Tropic Cinema. It was like a contest almost where everybody had like a team. Again, you write in one night, and then you shoot over the weekend. You have to edit it and get it submitted by like Sunday night or whatever. I've written at least 6 or 7 of those shorts, and some people cheat. I think that's kind of unfair, or whatever. But they'll pull some. They'll shake the dust off of some old script. But I've always enjoyed that challenge of writing in one night, because it's like guys like you and me. We can give one night or 2 nights, whatever, weekend. But it's hard to get committed beyond that, which again, my 2-week idea is
that's
also,
our life.
Yeah. So
no holidays and weekends
right,
are yours,
right,
ever.
Right. So to do anything like this, to try to commit to something, but those little screenplays and little projects are something that I've always been attracted to, and I have a bunch. I have a bunch of those kind of things. So
I encourage you to let's make this happen.
Yeah,
I want to see this go.
Yeah, that starts with a meeting. Bring out the screenplays and have a beer or some coffee, lots of coffee or some beers, and read them and see what you got. Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
No.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad you were in the neighborhood today.
Absolutely.
Walking 3 blocks away. You walked all the way down here?
All the way down here.
All the way down?
Yep.
Just to sit with me and say hi?
Everybody wants to sit with Kit.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. You
Absolutely.
don't know what it means to me to have you come on.
I'm so flattered to be here. Thank you
That's
very much.
awesome.
Yes.
We got Mr. Peter O'Toole walking by, trying to be anonymous. Yeah, we see him. They all walk by, don't they?
Everybody
does.
Yep.
Well, I've got one last question for you.
Yep.
If you were a pizza, what kind of pizza would you
Oh, man, you know exactly what I am. I'm a cheesesteak pizza. What else?
He's a Philly cheesesteak pizza. Let's get it on.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. I appreciate being here. Thank you, Kit.